Welcome to the Straight Out of Home Video podcast, part of the Geeky Waffle Network.
This week we're talking about Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure. I'm Candace, and with me is Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, Candace.
I am on a journey with Vanessa to watch all these Tinkerbell movies, and I don't know how to feel about that.
I know the last time that we watched one, I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. This one, not so much, and there's a few reasons for that. I think the overarching reason is that this was a lot more stress than I needed right now. Like, almost every single moment of this movie was stressful.
Tinkerbell is chosen to make this scepter for this big festival. Do you remember what it's called?
No, but it's the festival that they have every beginning of autumn.
Okay, so it's like an autumn festival, and it's a huge honor for her to be chosen, right?
Yes, it's an honor, but it's also an especially important thing because what happens is this scepter holds a moonstone, and the moonstone is what they place it in a particular place that's only on this one day every 8 years, and the light shining through the moonstone at this one particular moment regenerates all of the fairy dust for the fairy dust tree. And so it is insanely important that this all go well. So, of course, true to any plot, everything must go completely wrong.
Yeah, so Terrence, her BFF, is on a mission to help her. But he does more and, annoys her. And I was really happy to see, the irrationally mad, quick to anger Tink in this movie. That's the Tink we all know and love, right?
It is. I mean, I kind of was. I think I was a little on a different page though, because I really liked the last one and how she was a little bit. I mean, I guess she was more innocent and open-minded and everything. But I also do get this because I feel like this is, this is a relationship that people do understand. Also, it's that, you work together with somebody that you really like, and then all of a sudden you're starting to get on your nerves. What I was thinking the entire time actually was just that this relationship would not have survived quarantine.
That's so true. Very true. They couldn't even handle working together for a little while, a couple days.
Yeah, I think it was a couple weeks, but either way, it's still not too terrible.
Yeah, so Terrence gets a compass, and the compass smashes the moonstone, and Tink is freaking out, which of course she is. Why wouldn't she?
Yeah, furious.
And she finds out about a legend, about a wish. What is it called?
It's a mirror, and it grants wishes, and she learns about it through going to this fairy theater where they're telling fairy tales, which, fairy tales. But they do not mess around when they're doing theater. I will say that for the fairies.
Yes. So Tink lies on a balloon made of cotton?
Yes, but a lot of things. But that's the thing. She's actually she is a very talented inventor.
So she goes by herself to look for the mirror, and she meets a cute, adorable lightning bug.
Yeah, I think he was my favorite.
Yeah, named Blaze. He got an attitude, and I was like, oh, he probably sold some toys.
He was very much the quintessential, the sidekick that a lot of Disney princesses have, where it's just kind of this lighthearted bit, and I mean it's definitely a pet, which I feel is very, very relatable because you love them even more because they're so cute.
She kind of needed that because she can't just be talking to herself during this entire journey.
Yeah. She could. I think she kind of was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that might have not been so good for the long run.
Yeah. So hijinks ensue. They eventually find the ship that has the mirror. And when Tink gets the mirror, she gets annoyed with Blaze and is like, I wish you would be quiet for just 1 minute.
Oh, yeah. By the way, the mirror grants wishes. I don't know if we said that. We just said a magic mirror.
Yeah. And it grants 3, and it's already on its 3rd one, and she wastes it because of her temper, and she learns a lesson.
Yep, she learns not to blame everybody else when a lot of things are just her getting too stubborn or infuriated, I guess.
Yep. And Terrence actually followed her like a little stalker.
But he was trying to be a friend.
Yeah, which is good because she was like going on this like crazy journey. So the three of them escape after the ship is chased by rats.
Yeah, they get pursued by rats, and at this point, also they've also run out of fairy dust, so they can't fly. I assume Blaze is still flying, but he's not going to leave them behind. And they find a way to escape from that, and then they are able to fix everything because they don't fix the moonstone, but they are able to rework the moonstone in a way that will still catch the light at exactly the right way in order to not only get all of the dust, but get more dust than ever before.
So everything's happy. Yay!
Yeah, like I said, way too much stress.
Okay, so I like this one a lot more because there was like a plot.
Okay, I'll give that to you. I guess the last one for me was cool just because it was world building, and this one, I mean, you know, you have the world, and yes, it does have a plot, but the plot is just one wrong thing after another, which again, I know that's what makes plots interesting, but to me, I just, you know, I saw it all coming. I'm like, okay, well, something's gonna break this, gonna break that, this isn't gonna work out, and just I was bracing myself every single time.
So they party like Terrence and Tink.
Mm-hmm.
They party with chamomile tea.
Oh yeah, love that.
I have that in my notes. I was like,
I mean, you know, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I will say that if you're going to party with chamomile tea, I feel like chamomile tea is the wrong thing to do that with because that's just going to send you straight to a nap.
Yeah, it's sleepy time tea. Okay, and there were a few new fairies, like Fairy Gary, who is a Scottish fairy with a kilt.
That's okay. So that also made me wonder, with everybody having different accents.
Yes.
Do fairies get their accent from whichever place they are summoned from? Is that how that works? Because there's a whole bunch of different accents.
Yeah.
I'm very confused about that.
I'm also maybe it's like what child laughs that. But they also like have different ages too.
Yeah, which it seems like they're ageless.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's very odd to me, and also what's very odd because again, this is now we're getting more into fairy life and fairy culture. So I'm wondering why Tinkerbell and Clank and Bobble, like, they have all of these names that are very, you know, very much related to tinkering, and then you have Terrence. That's not dust related. Is there? I mean, I don't understand why their naming system is different from some of the other ones where it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I have no idea. We're going again into that fairy world, which we just don't know.
But my biggest issue with this whole like building of the fairy world is, okay, so you need pixie dust to fly. But they need pixie dust to fly. I didn't know that. I thought maybe like I knew that from the last one, like they give pixie dust to, but they literally cannot fly without it. Can't.
Yeah, they have wings.
Right. They have wings. So what's the point of the wings? And where did this come from? Because this is not a sustainable evolutionary trait. I don't understand what. I really want someone to answer that for me.
I got no answers.
That was the most troublesome thing to me, I think, for the whole movie, was just, okay, so their wings are actually useless. It's just the dust.
Yeah, I guess their wings are just for show.
I guess they are pretty. I don't know, but
yeah. Are you interested in some facts?
I am.
About this movie? Okay. So this movie is obviously a direct-to-DVD. That's why we're doing it. But for 1 week, it was running in theaters in LA. To qualify for the 2010 Oscars, it did not get nominated.
Oh, were they trying to do what, best animated movie? Yeah, okay.
I'm just like, wow. You guys think a lot about this. This film was released on DVD and Blu-ray in 2009. And in the first 2 months of its release, DVD sales brought in $50 million of revenue.
15 or 50?
50.
50 million. Oh, right. Okay.
3.25 million units sold.
Wow.
Again, that's just with the DVD sales. That's not with all the merch. And kids going, I want to go to Pixie Hollow at Disney.
Mm-hmm. again, we're not blind to the brilliance of Disney and their marketing schemes.
On contrary, I admire the heck out of them.
Yeah.
Like, they're thinking. But yeah, just the first 2 months, $50 million.
That's insane.
Oh, what did you think of Tinkerbell's new costume?
Oh, I didn't notice it.
Oh, you didn't? Like, she has like leggings now and like.
Oh, okay. I did
and-
kind of notice that. But then I guess I didn't really see it past a certain point, because especially since she had that one joke where she was going through her dresses and she's like, oh no, this isn't for traveling. And they all look the same.
Also, did you notice the Indiana Jones reference when she's about to launch the balloons by sprinkling pixie dust on it?
No. How did I miss that? What was it?
So she takes a handful of dust from her pouch and weighs it in her hand before returning it to the bag. And it's like when Indiana weighs the sand.
Amazing. Yeah. I did not see that, but I probably was just too stressed.
Okay, so there are 5 critic reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Mm-hmm. What do you think the score is?
62%.
It's 100% with all 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's random people though. It's not like USA Today.
Yeah, but still, I'm very impressed. Again, I didn't hate this movie, but it was just I didn't think that it was up to that standard.
The audience score is 73% though.
Okay.
And I have some reviews that just like caught my fancy while I was perusing.
Yes, please
Rotten
share.
Tomatoes and Amazon. So Andrea says it has more story than the first, which is good.
Good. Yes, true.
Jackson says it has a million plot holes. It's another awful Tinkerbell movie. Surprise.
No, okay. So one of the plot holes that I wanted to talk about was the fact they totally foreshadowed something that didn't happen.
What?
So in the fairy theater, they're talking, they're telling the story about the mirror that grants wishes or whatever, and then Tinkerbell is like, oh my gosh, that's what I need to do, and leaves, and then she's left, and the play is still going on, and the fairy says, well, you have to mean goodwill with your wish, otherwise it turns horribly wrong. And so I'm like, okay, so she's gonna wish for something, because I was like, well, she's gonna wish to fix the moonstone, which is goodwill, because it's needed for all the fairies and by extension the world, but nothing happened. So I'm like, wait, why would you even say that then? It doesn't make any sense. Just
That's a good point. And I mean, like, in her asking Blaze to be quiet for a minute isn't goodwill, but nothing bad happens. It isn't goodwill,
but yeah, nothing bad happens. It's just that you lost the wish. I mean, but that's going to happen no matter if you have goodwill or not, and you just make a mistake.
Yeah. Okay, I have one last review. Anne Lisa says, this movie says stupid multiple times, and characters are rude and demeaning to each other. I expect better of a family film.
Huh. All right. I don't remember them saying stupid.
Are we desensitized from the word stupid? Because back in the day, I thought that was a bad word when I was 6.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just there's so many worse things that we've heard.
How are you feeling about this series so far, Vanessa?
Feeling okay. There was one more thing that I wanted to share about this, which was the whole thing was every time there's a different fairy from a different group that makes the scepter, and now they have this scepter that is made so specifically to these little shards of moonstone. Now they have to use that scepter forever.
That was Tink's long game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the real story behind it. She just wanted to make sure that they would use her scepter for the rest of time.
Yep. She's like, I will never be forgotten. There can only be one.
But yeah, overall, I am enjoying it. I didn't think I would, and I still am enjoying it. This one was definitely more stressful, and I'm hoping that the next one is not so much.
I don't even know what the next one is because all the titles just blur together for me.
It's just Tinkerbell, and
I know she gets a twin sister later on.
Why?
I think it's explained. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out, hopefully.
Are we going to mention something that Brie feels strongly about?
Yeah, Brie had some technical issues with their microphone, but we asked them, what do you want us to mention? And Vanessa, can you explain?
So, if any of you listened to the first movie recording we did, Brie is very upset about how Tinkerbell and Terrence look like siblings.
Because they think that they're romantic.
Which they totally are. However, I think so. I mean, like, they're definitely a couple. Oh, I mean, so from the beginning of this movie, at the beginning of this movie, they already allude to it because is it Fairy Gary who's the in charge of the dust?
Yes.
Whoever's in charge of the dust, and then the two other fairies that were there, and Terrence is clocking out, and they're like, "Oh, where are you going?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do errands and stuff." And like, "Oh, errands and stuff. Like, say hi to Tinkerbell for me." It's very much implied that they are a couple.
Okay.
Whether or not they know it or not is the thing, but everyone else definitely knows it. But yes, Bree is very upset because they think that even in this movie, it's because what I said was that why do they look like siblings? They do have both blonde hair and blue eyes, but apparently Bree thinks that it's more obvious in this movie.
And they would just like that known, and also they like that Tinkerbell is more selfish and angry and stubborn, like
yes, because it's more true to her character, which is true, and it does mean that she learns a bigger lesson in the end, which makes sense. I will give it that. Please tell us why fairies have wings if they can't fly without pixie dust. I need to know.
Explain to us the fairy organization and what are they trying to do? How do they live? We're geeky_waffle on Twitter. Geeky Waffle everywhere else. Please rate and review this podcast. It helps us so much. You can find us at thegeekywaffle.com. And we hope you have a happily ever after until you break the moonstone into a bunch of pieces.